I used to sell supplements every single day, and there's a lot that I said on the sales floor that I'm really not proud of. Today, we're talking about the 3 lies that I used to sell you fat burners. What's up, guys? My name is Kyler. I'm a nutrition coach, and as you guys know, I used to work in the supplement industry. I used to sell supplements every single day, and there's a lot that I said on the sales floor that I'm really not proud of. And so right now, what I want to do is start revealing some of the truths about the products that I used to sell and what they're actually doing when you take them, if anything at all. Today, we're pulling the curtain back on one of the most popular supplements that I have ever sold, and probably one of the most misunderstood supplements as well. Today, we're talking about the 3 lies that I used to sell you fat burners. So lie number 1, it helps spot reduce fat. You know, fat around the gut, thighs, arms, like you can spot reduce it. You want to burn fat here, take this pill so it'll expedite the fat burning in that area. I wish making a change like that could be as easy as taking a product, but truthfully, we're all unique individuals. We are all made up differently. We all have a very different genetic build. On average, the typical human being, let's say they have a significant amount of fat on their body, or even just a standard amount of fat, because it's healthy to have a layer of adipose tissue on your body. Typically, you're going to be carrying a majority of it on your gut first, and then usually your legs and arms after that. That's where we carry a majority of it. Now, labels tend to abuse this knowledge. Labels for fat burners tend to take data, misconstrue it, and then sell it as a benefit of taking the product. We carry the most fat in those areas. So when we start burning fat, we're typically gonna burn fat primarily in those areas as well, whether or not you're taking a product to do it. There's no way you can actually spot reduce fat in any area of your body. We're just naturally going to burn fat across our entire body. We're going to see a primary burn in the places where you carry a primary amount of fat. In my experience, a lot of the products that we had on our shelves had like 2x or 3x times the fat burn in your gut, or sheds the belly fat. Within 3 to 6 weeks, you're going to start seeing major results. And there is absolutely no way that just a product can target fat in that area of your body alone. If you are burning fat, you're burning fat all over your body. You're gonna burn it in your gut. You're gonna burn it on your legs. You're gonna burn it on your arms. But it also has a lot to do with our genetic makeup and how you hold fat. It's very unique. It's a very unique experience. So there's no product in the world that can tell you exactly where you're gonna be burning the fat once you take that pill. If you wanna speed up the fat burning process, there are different ways you can go about doing that, but a pill isn't going to solve that problem. Not today, not tomorrow, not any day ever is a pill going to solve that problem. But we'll talk about what does. That brings us to lie number 2. It can help blast through a weight loss plateau. Let's say you've been sticking to a routine, a workout routine, a nutrition routine, trying to burn fat, and all of a sudden you stop. Like progress just takes a standstill. And what we call that is a plateau. Like you've hit this point where what you're doing isn't enough anymore. You're not making any more progress. You want to continue to lose weight, but it's not quite falling off. So one thing that I would say on the sales floor is, hey, you can just throw this fat burner into your regimen. You can throw it into your routine, and it's going to help blast through that plateau. And so you're seeing that fat burn pick up pace all over again. That's just not true. So we're going to talk a little bit about the thermogenic effect of fat burners here in a second. But what I would like to talk about right now is a plateau and what it is and how a product really isn't going to help you push through that. There are multiple factors that come into play when you're losing weight. It is not just calories in, calories out. Technically, you could argue that it is at its most basic understanding, but there's a lot of factors that go into it. A lot of things you can probably look at with biofeedback markers, such as, are you getting enough rest? Like 6.5 to 7 hours a night. Is that consistent? Like, are you recovering really well while you're sleeping? So if you're having inconsistent sleeping patterns, this was something that I dealt with for a very long time, you probably will see a standstill in weight loss because you're not giving your muscle enough time to recover and hit the gym or hit the next workout as effectively. Another thing to consider is everyone has a caloric maintenance threshold where if you're eating enough calories, your body's not going to change. And it's very possible that you've lost enough weight at this point, the amount of food that you're eating to technically lose weight. Now your body just needs that much to stay where it's at. And so what you would need to do is potentially lower the amount of calories again. Something else to consider, like you could have ineffective programming, like the workouts that you're doing, they might not be enough anymore. Now, all of these things can be solved usually by talking to someone who's been through that before, maybe even a coach, and getting on some kind of personalized regimen. But I already made a video about that. You can find it there. There are multiple things that you have to consider when you hit a plateau. Is your entire lifestyle structured for that success? A pill a fat burner isn't going to push through that plateau. A fat burner has such a little effect on human thermogenesis, it doesn't have enough power to push through your average plateau. Like, you're just gonna take it, maybe feel jittery from time to time, but it's not gonna give you the results that you want. It's not that your body just decided to stop progressing. What's happening is your body's not responding to the stimulus that you're providing it to lose the weight anymore. This is why working with a coach is so important, because they can look at your lifestyle and go, oh, it's this specifically. Working with a trainer, same thing. But a pill, not so much. And that brings us to lie number 3. Fat burners are effective in burning fat. We're gonna hang out here for just a minute because we need to unpack this. Fat burners usually have 2 primary components, a stimulant, and you'll usually see L-carnitine in them. So your body uses thermogenesis to burn fat. And that's essentially your body's ability to create heat. When you increase heat, when you go through thermogenesis, your caloric burn goes up and you start burning fat. So that's burning fat. That's what it looks like. When you take a stimulant, it claims to increase caloric burn, but that stimulant isn't strong enough to increase it to the levels that are advertised or the levels that we would talk about on the floor of the supplement store. It's shown that 300 milligrams or so of caffeine, which is your average stimulant you're going to see in a fat burner, equates to about 50 calories burned at the end of the day. One day, 50 calories. That's not a lot. In fact, most fat burning pills don't hit 300 milligrams of caffeine. So you're not even hitting that high-end number. So your average fat burner might help you burn an additional 35 calories a day, maybe 40, but that also comes in a spurt and then it goes away. It's not a long-lasting pill. Nothing's fighting your fat through your sleep. Nothing's fighting your fat passively. It's a quick spurt of energy, increases the heat of your body, and then it goes away. The second element to a fat burner is L-carnitine. You're gonna see that a lot on the shelves. L-carnitine's claim is to increase fat oxidation in the body, burning fat. But is it really helping to the degree that it claims? So L-carnitine is considered almost like the key for your cells to absorb fat. Your body already produces L-carnitine to do just that. And L-carnitine isn't one of those things where if you take more, you can absorb more. It is simply acting as the key, and then your cells absorb the same amount of fat. Your body already produces L-carnitine. There's no reason to buy L-carnitine unless medically diagnosed with a deficiency. It really is crazy to me, but most fat burners claim that L-carnitine is going to increase fat oxidation, and it truly does nothing. And then you could argue there's a third component to fat burners, and it's its proprietary blend. A lot of the herbs and spices that trickles in there with claims on the bottle that say, oh my gosh, this wonder herb is going to burn fat in your sleep. And they typically have no evidence or data to back those claims up. In fact, we talked about proprietary blends and how they can pretty much put whatever they want in there and just say there are some ingredients in there. And then they rely on the stimulants to do a majority of the work. But something that's also important to remember is that salesmen encourage you to include this with a regimen that's centered around fat burning. So your nutrition is already dialed in, your exercise is dialed in, because if you're just sitting down taking a fat burner, you don't see the effect. When you're exercising and you get your nutrition right, you start seeing the effect. And then the companies claim that the fat burning work was done by the pill and not the effort that the person is putting forward. It's just this cycle of misinformation that really has never stopped. On multiple occasions, it's been observed in studies that you have one group who's exercising and not taking a fat burner, and then you have one group that's exercising, taking a fat burner, and they will typically not see any difference from the results when it comes to weight loss. So when it comes down to it, the stuff that you see on the label, the things that people say in the store, the things that you read online are just the effort that people have put into losing weight and the fat burner taking credit. If you're trying to lose weight, a fat burner will do nothing for you. I don't just want to end the video there. Let's talk about what you're trying to do, because you clicked on this video because you're curious about this next step, this fat burning process. Like, what do I do? So I was talking before, when I was talking about the first lie, that everyone has a caloric range where if you're eating a certain amount of calories, you're going to typically stay where you're at. And there are so many calculators online to find that, but I'm going to include a link to one in the description of this video so you can take a look at that. Just see what kind of results come up. It'll just bring up questions and will steer you in the right direction. But once you get that maintenance caloric number, how many calories you should eat a day to stay where you're at, what you need to do to burn fat is put yourself in a caloric deficit, usually between 300 to 500 calories below that number. And if you're eating that number every single day, you're going to start seeing results. And if you're not seeing results from doing something like that, it's very important that you get a professional, a licensed professional, to take a look at blood work, hormones, biofeedback, things like that, because there could be other elements going on. But typically in a fat burning process, you just need to be in a caloric deficit. That's it. Don't let the fat burner take all the glory for your hard work because they did none of it. That was all you. So guys, those are the 3 lies that I used to sell fat burners. If anyone tries to sell you a fat burner, say no. If they ask why, send them this video. You have a wonderful day.